And I just turned around and I hauled ass out of there. I was done. I wasn't dealing with that.
The hypocrisy of the cult is one of the things that turned me away the quickest.
When I turned my headlights on, it turned and looked at us, and one of the things I remember the most were the eyes were glowing red.
I see an orb of light. It is just circling these steps like it is waiting for me.
And he begins to tell them that he saw a UFO. They're basically like, what are you talking about? That's 7 foot up on a tree, peeking around it, and that's where I saw the top of the muzzle, nose, and the eyes. As soon as I made eye contact with this thing, it felt like death.
Welcome back to another episode of Foiled Fridays. I am your host, Brandon Wright, the host of Tinfoil Tales. How y'all doing today? If you're new around here, this is not the typical Tinfoil Tales episode. This is strictly just an episode that I do by myself, and I kind of talk about the things that are on my mind, some things that are going on in society that I don't usually get a chance to talk about on the normal episodes of Tinfoil Tales. This is why it is Foiled Fridays, which is basically just my solo episode. So if you would like to hear interviews with other guests, check out other episodes of Tinfoil Tales. There's plenty to choose from. But we're going to jump into today's discussions. If you happen to have been a follower of Tinfoil Tales, or if you follow me on some of the social medias, you may have saw an announcement that I'd made this week that the podcast, an episode of Tinfoil Tales, was licensed to be used in this upcoming movie called Bugonia, which is actually now hitting theaters today in select cities, but will be all over next week on Halloween. So if you are a fan of Tinfoil Tales and you like conspiracy movies or aliens or anything kind of weird, you might want to check out Bugonia because this movie seems to be going to be a hit. It stars Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. Jesse Plemons is a conspiracy theorist that apparently listens to Tinfoil Tales. So there is at least a minute or two of my audio somewhere in the movie. But while he listens to the podcast, he believes his boss, which is Emma Stone, is an alien. And him and his cousin kidnap her and torture her in his basement. So to be 100% honest, I was a little leery about having the show affiliated with that in the sense that it kind of paints a picture that people that listen to Tinfoil Tales could be crazy and want to kidnap people and torture them thinking that they're aliens. But on the other hand, I don't know how the movie plays out, but what if she actually is an alien and the guy was right all along? So are we really the crazy people? The world may never know. So you go check out Bugonia and find out the answers for yourself. But with all that being said, it's a crazy opportunity for me. It's a crazy opportunity for the podcast. So I definitely appreciate Focus Features, the crew that reached out to me for that. It's been a big secret going on here for over a year. So if you've ever heard me talk about something on the horizon or something in the works, it was literally about this movie. And it's been going on for over a year now. And I'm glad it's finally released and I've been able to actually talk about it. I have not seen it. I really hope that the audio is still in there. I know it's supposed to be, so I'll kind of feel like a douche if it's not in there now. It's got edited out, but the last I knew, they were still using my audio. So again, totally grateful for that. Amazing opportunity. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just something random that happened, and here I am. But because of that, that's actually kind of led me to the topic that I want to talk about tonight, which is trying not to believe everything you see or read or hear online. Trying to decipher what is real and not real. I think right now there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I think a lot of people get confused. So for this episode, I want to try and focus on some of that. But before we do, there's something that has been irking me, and I feel like this is something that's I typically ignore because it's just not who I am. And I'm trying to be real with people. Some things just tend to get under my skin, and I'm just going to lay it all out there. I do my best to stay humble. I don't particularly care what anyone else thinks about me, or do I even try to involve myself with a lot of the hoopla and plagues most of the communities or groups online. You see it all the time. I try to do my own thing, and I know other people who've followed certain things that I've done. Like, I'm not a pioneer. But doing the exact same things that I've done in the past and gloating about it like it's something that you've done, like you've done some monumental achievement, seems a little bit strange to me for something that I've already done. Been there, done that. Every single thing in my life is something that I have worked for. Not just a random podcast. I'm not some random guy out in a barn here recording a podcast. I mean, I am, but that isn't what I'm about. Like, I've put in the effort. I've put in the work. I've done everything that I possibly can to achieve what I have in life. Not just podcasts, but in life in general. I have worked my ass off to get to where I'm at. And I'm not saying I'm some huge ordeal by any means. But like every single thing in my life is something that I have had to work for. And I feel like a lot of people are not able to understand that rationality because they're handed everything to them, or they're too lazy to go out there and put in the effort required to achieve the things they want in life. And that's not how I am. I've been taught and raised to go out there and work for what you want. Don't stop until you get it. Like when I started this podcast, I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know anything about podcasting. I used to be in a band. I had all the recording stuff. I said, screw it. I'm starting a podcast. And lo and behold, 3 years later, here I am. The idea started in 2020. Didn't do anything for 2 years. Now I'm doing it. 3 years later, I've won podcast awards. I have thousands of listeners every week. I've been in 110 different countries that someone has downloaded an episode in. I don't worry about the numbers for like the views on YouTube or the counts on your Facebooks or how many people follow you on social media. None of that shit matters to me. At the end of the day, as long as someone's listening and enjoys it, cool. Even if someone wasn't doing it, like wasn't listening or feedback or anything, because half the time I don't hear from people as it is, so I don't even know if anyone enjoys the damn show. But I do it anyways, because it's something for me to do, and I'm too stubborn to stop. Like, I don't do videos to have my face on there to see myself talking. I don't listen to myself half the time when I do a podcast. The only time I listen to is when I'm editing it or I play back just to make sure that it all sounds decent. Other than that, I could care less. And I don't do this for like some sort of notoriety or a pat on my back. Like, I don't care about stuff like that. I'm not egotistical. Some people might think I am and say, oh, he's got a big ego about himself. I really don't. Like, I'm usually self-depreciating or whatever the word is. I want to say self-deprecating, but it sounds like I'm shitting on myself. But the truth of the matter is, I try and stay as humble as I possibly can because I know out there are other people that struggle in life, and I have been given an opportunity more so than anyone else, but I have put in the work for that. Like, I didn't go out to just be famous on the internet or on radio or whatever the hell you listen to Tinfoil Tales on. Like, that's not what I'm about. Like, I didn't go on other people's shows. It took me over a year before I even got on someone else's show, and it was not because I wanted to be famous on a podcast. I wanted to talk to someone that had been on that show. Sadly, that never happened. Like, I ended up being a guest. The person that I wanted to hear the episode never got in contact with me. And then a little bit later, I got asked to be on another big podcast. Thought the guy was cool. He turned out to be a huge douche. So everyone that would know him, if I name dropped him, I'm not going to, but like he's super popular in all these genres, niches that I'm involved in, but yet he's kind of a tool bag. And then there's other things that go on behind the scenes that I don't really dick around with or care about because I don't care. I've tried to have a relationship with all sorts of different podcasters, and half the time it's just people trying to use you to get something ahead of you. That's cool. That's how it's got to be for them. That's fine. People want to copy what I do, try and go and do the things that I do to try and get some sort of recognition for something that I've already done. That's cool. You go do that. You go follow in my footsteps. I'm glad that I influenced you enough to try and go out there and win awards or anything else that had something to do with me before anyone else even ever heard about it. But I'm cool with anyone. Like I said, I don't care. I don't harbor grudges about stuff. Some things I might roll my eyes at or think it's kind of stupid. But for the most part, I try and be cool with everyone because I don't see the need to start drama or stupidity online with people that don't really matter to me. At the end of the day, no one online, I don't really know them and I don't really care because do we really care about the people's opinions? I know some people do, but I really don't. But the one thing that gets to me that I can't get over here lately is the fact that I'm tired of being disrespected. And I know it's an oxymoron that I don't care what people's opinions are, but at the same time, I know my worth. And it's not to try and sound like an egotistical dick, but I have done more things in 3 years than a lot of people will do their entire lives, especially when it comes to podcast. And again, I don't even want to say I'm a podcaster because that was never anything I ever want it to be. I didn't want to come out here and just talk to hear myself talk, but here I am. So it's not anything lost on me. I understand it's ironic to say that. I don't need the recognition or the glory or the pat on the back, but here I am out here talking about it because maybe it is something that I do need, because I'm tired of people ignoring and not acknowledging the work that I've put into things. Without name dropping or being 100% specific for anyone that may be listening, there are certain things that I do and I'm involved with that I get ignored about. When I know for 100% fact that I am larger, have more pull, more reach than a lot of the people combined involved, but yet no one asks me my opinion. No one cares about what I think. No one even bothers to even mention that I'm involved or around. You know what? I'm the only one that does the 90% of the work trying to promote damn things. But you know what? Everyone ignores me. That's cool. Like, I don't forget things. If everyone else wants to pretend that I'm irrelevant, all right. I mean, that's your prerogative, but I'm tired of taking it. I don't see people winning awards. I don't see people getting asked to be in a movie. I don't see people, all these other little things that I've done in the 3 years where I haven't even tried really. Like, I've done minimal effort into being where I'm at right now, and it's all random, and I'm 100% grateful for every opportunity that I've had. But I'm not going to allow people to continue to shit on me. And that's how I feel 90% of the time. People don't appreciate what I've done. People don't appreciate the work that I put in. People just want to go around and pretend that I'm irrelevant. And you know what? I am irrelevant. I get that. I don't matter. But I'm not going to be disrespected, especially in the communities I'm involved in where they don't matter either. That's the problem that I have about it, is I want to try and make things important. And I'm trying to do the good things, and people just want to do nothing but complain and self-sabotage everything to make it about themselves. And I'm not trying to make anything about myself, but now I am, because I'm tired of people ignoring the fact that the work and the effort and everything else that I put into everything that I do just to take the credit for something they had nothing to do with. I do my best to stay humble because I know it's the right thing to do. But maybe it is time for me to embrace the fact that I shouldn't continue to allow people to disrespect me, in the sense of from others who are less relevant than what I've been doing. Like, they keep forgetting about me. A lot of them wouldn't even be doing some of the things that they're doing now had it not been for me and them trying to copy off what I've done that they think I've had success with. So now here they are out here trying to be me. Be original. I 100% didn't get influenced by anyone, but yes, I'm doing something that is not original. And I own that. But I try to do my own spin on things. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't get influenced by podcasts because I don't really listen to podcasts. I do my own podcast. I don't have time to listen to podcasts. And it's not just me. I'm sure you guys can relate to this. You all feel disrespected because people don't acknowledge or care about the effort that you've put into things. Not just this podcast for me, even stuff with work, even stuff anywhere that I go, anything that I've done. Sometimes I feel like people don't appreciate it. And you know what? Maybe it's time for us to say, you know what? Screw you guys, because we all have to work for it. The people sitting around there wanting to be handed everything to them because they're too damn lazy to go get a job and expect everything to be handed to them. They don't want to put in the effort, so they try and steal people's guests by going on their chat lines or whatever, listening. And like, you see someone comment it, so they got to comment those people. You see that you get some sort of achievements or some awards or whatever, so you go and enroll yourself in that one to try and copy in the footsteps of that. Like, it's all a big scam in the sense that everyone's just ripping each other off and taking the credit or taking the work from someone else that already pioneered it for you. And now you're out here trying to be successful at it by ripping off the people that put in the work first because you're too damn lazy to get off your ass and do it yourself. End of my rant. So sorry for anyone that's never listened to a Foiled Fridays, but this is kind of what it is, my little few moments to complain about stuff that I don't ever get a chance to complain about. So someone says to shut up because they don't want to hear me talking. That's 100% fine. Don't listen to Foiled Fridays, because Foiled Fridays is about me getting some of the things off my chest. And if the listeners like it, that's cool. You can relate. That's cool. If you don't want to hear it, that's cool too. There's other episodes that you can check out. But on this note, we're going to move on to what I wanted to talk about, and the context of believing everything that you hear online and the downfalls of that. I know a lot of the older generations have struggled with AI and seen things posted online the fake news, the misinformation. There's all sorts of that plague us. The echo chambers of social media are out there spreading misinformation all the time. They used to fact check things, which I don't believe they do anymore because of some other reasons that have happened. But a lot of the time, I think the fact checks were wrong too, because it was all about pushing an agenda for everyone to swallow that pill, go get your boosters, whatever else it was. They were trying to brainwash people into doing the things that they wanted them to do for all the control that they typically want to throw on every one of us as usual. When we see people online and we see the posts that get on there and we can't discern whether it's true or not, whether we listen to podcasts like my show or we listen to other podcasts that talk about similar things, we all need to remember that we have to distinguish between what is real and what is not real. I know that's a hard thing for some people to comprehend, but truth of the matter is not everything that gets said on my show, on someone else's show, or anything can be taken in the context of 100% truth. And I don't mean to disagree with anyone else that says what they tell you is true. I don't know. I was not there. I want to believe everyone that's been on the show, but at the same time, you got to remain skeptical. Not thinking that people are just out there to lie and cheat and steal or whatever it is that they're doing. The fact of the matter is we have to determine amongst ourselves what is real and not real. So if someone came on here and said that so-and-so is the Antichrist, someone out there listening could be in a different mental state, mental capacity, whatever, and hear that. And now they think they're going to go save the world by taking out this person who was listed as being the Antichrist. Or someone says this person, like in this movie, is an alien, bent on taking over the world. So they're going to go and kidnap this person because they're an alien and they need to expose them to save the planet and all sorts of crap. Well, are we influencing these people to do the things that they do? I don't know how often this actually happens. Clearly, this movie was made to kind of, I don't know, not necessarily to make fun, but like to pinpoint how we've become as a society that we're influenced by outside sources without knowing all the details. Are we doing more harm than good? That is something that I struggle with to think about, because I hope for 100% that I am helping people, but I don't want to help people go and commit crimes or do some sort of heinous acts because someone on my show come on here and said something and that influenced them to go and take action against someone else because, hell, I don't know. I don't think you know. I don't think the listeners or anyone out there really knows the truth, because if we did, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I often wonder if some of the things that we talk about and some of the things that I say or another host says or what a guest says, does this really end up helping people? Because if it's not, and then I go back to questioning, is it something even beneficial for me to even be doing? Because this takes a lot of my time. This takes a lot of my effort. And to be 100% honest, I am tired. Like, I work all the time. I have stuff going on with my kids. I do the best that I can, and I'm so stretched thin anymore that I am exhausted, and I still come out here when I have to put in the time and effort to keep this show floating, keep this going, come out here and record this right before it gets released, because I don't have scripts. I don't have anything like that. I just come out here and I spitball, and I barely even edit anything. I just slap it together and release it because I need to make sure to keep up with my schedule of how I have to release things, because it's maybe my own OCD mentality of things, but I don't want to fall back and become lazy or do the things that I get annoyed with other people, because this is not what I want to happen. Like, I have to do this. This is my calling. I don't know why. I just feel like this is something that I have to do. So I come out here and I do this stuff, but I don't want to continue to do things if it's not beneficial for anyone else, because I'm not trying to do it just for myself, because I don't get any benefit, to be 100% honest. I'm not out here making money left and right. I wish I was, but that isn't how podcasting works unless you're some celebrity or you've gotten lucky enough to be piggybacked off of somebody else because they were already famous for piggybacking off someone else too, or they're already a celebrity. I'm none of that, so I don't know how that's supposed to work for me, but here I am out there wanting to try and help people. And what I'm trying to get across for anyone listening is, if you're struggling with something, if you're having a hard time with something, you probably need someone to talk to. I am not a licensed professional. I can't offer any sort of help in that sort of sense. But if there's things on your chest that you can't talk about that went on, and maybe some sort of a weird paranormal type of aspect, I'm always more than willing to listen. Even for things that might not fall into that category, I'll still try and give you the benefit of the doubt, listen to you, trying to help you out if I can. But sometimes you need to talk to a professional. And I'm leery about that sometimes too, because certain things you say to a professional, you might get your ass locked up. But is that a negative? Because sometimes maybe the bad things that we think about should have us really looked into, because some of the things that some people talk about maybe do have some sort of ailment to them that makes them a danger to not just themselves, but to others. And if that's the case, then we really need to consider the fact that there is a mental health issue in society that continues to get overlooked. And a lot of people start blaming people like me, the people that listen to this show maybe, that we are encouraging this type of stuff. I don't want anyone to think that my show is out there pushing out some sort of weird conspiratorial things that make people go crazy and to go out there and commit crimes or any type of thing, because that is not what Tinfoil Tales was ever about. I wanted to help bring people the truth. I wanted to give people a platform to talk about things, but it wasn't to try and influence anyone's mind one way or the other. I want people to make up their own decisions and try and rationalize things as best as they can. But if that's going to become a danger to people, then am I doing any good doing what I'm doing now? I just want people to understand that if you're listening to this show, this is not something that you should use for your own mental health issues. I don't want people to go out there and harm someone. I don't want them to harm themselves. I don't want them to go out there and do anything dumb because they heard something on here that influenced to do that. So I want to say in the most professional possible way that I can, like, go and seek some real help if that is something that you're considering doing, because I don't necessarily know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for you. And I don't want anyone taking what I say or anyone on my show that says or any other podcast out there to heart, because there is a lot of misinformation spread around. And I do my best not to spread misinformation because there's too much of that as it is, but I can't control everything. So I might not always know everything, because definitely don't know a whole lot about anything, to be 100% honest. I'm just a guy with a microphone that had the opportunity to come out here and record and got to the point to where I am right now. And again, I will never forget that. I'm not going to lose my humbleness in the sense that I'm not an egotistical driven douche like some people typically are. That is not me. I am literally trying to be a genuine good person and trying to help people. And I just want people to listen to the show, enjoy the show, and it's a release from reality sometimes for somebody. I want to find answers. I want people to question everything. I want people to understand that there's more to life than what we know, and we're all in this journey together. So I think that's where I'm going to end my whole little concern about people taking things that they read online and going to the extreme with it, because it is dangerous for some people, because a lot of the things that are out there can be misconstrued because it is out there to brainwash people. And we've talked about this plenty of times. Like, if you're not able to distinguish what is real and not real, or fake news, real news, and you're already an unstable mind to where it's easily influenced by these negative forces, then yes, there are things out there that can take advantage of that and influence people to go and do some things that I wish they wouldn't do, but this happens all the time. We see it all the time. People are out there committing murder. People are out there committing crime. People are out there doing all sorts of things, and we are just there, and the echo chambers influence it. Like, that is like the downfall of society, is the fact that we have allowed it to become the way it has become. But we're going to jump over into the weekly updates of good old Atlas 3 or whatever it's called. Pretty sure that the alien invasion from the mothership should be here in the next couple of weeks. It might just do a flyby, flip us the bird, and keep going, because that's probably what I would do if I was a highly intelligent race of species or whatever you want to call it passing by, because I'd see Earth and be like, nope, screw that. I'd lock my doors and keep driving by. So no real big updates yet on Atlas. And if anyone remembers last year or earlier this year, I don't exactly remember the time frame. I think it was October into December of last year, all the UAP stuff that was going on, especially around New Jersey, an unnamed military supplier or manufacturer, something like that, something that involved in the military industrial complex, was apparently the ones testing these things out. They've come forward. It's unnamed, so they haven't admitted to who it actually was, but they were testing these new drones and equipment, so they've taken credit for the whole outbreak of drones that were going around in New Jersey as they're testing out their equipment. I don't know if that is true. That is just something that I saw yesterday that is apparently floating around, that an unnamed military contractor is responsible for the drone outbreak. So there is that. There is not anything else that I've found particularly interesting in the weird world of paranormal. But speaking of paranormal, I will be at Paraunity this upcoming Saturday, so the 25th. So if you're listening today, which is Friday, the 24th, tomorrow I will be at Paraunity 7 here in Peru, Indiana at the 4-H Fairgrounds. It is free, and it is all ages. You can bring your children. So if you are local to Indiana and you would like to come out and see me, speak with me, you can come to the 4-H Fairgrounds because that's where I'm going to be set up at. If you are in the area, there are a lot of cool vendors going to be there. So make sure to stop out, come check it out. The other thing is I will be at CryptidCon at the end of November. That'll be the last event I have going on for the year. And I have done so many events this year that has been very time consuming, very expensive. I've made some money here and there, but I have definitely went further into the hole than anything by the amount of money that I've spent to create things. And then motel rooms, the gas, the booth fees, all this stuff. Like I have literally went into a pretty big hole out here. I don't generate enough money for the podcast to pay the bills as it is. So again, this is a very expensive hobby for me. So for anyone listening, just know that I appreciate you. I apologize about the commercials. I know everyone hates the commercials. I hate the commercials, but this is how I make some of that money back in order to continue to do the podcast as some means of justification to my own self, to my wife, to everybody that's the amount of money that I spend to do this podcast is my own little justification. So please bear with me. The commercials suck, but it's a necessity, the necessary evil. And that is why I offer Patreon. For $1.99 a month, you can join Patreon and not hear commercials. So if you hate commercials like me, go to Patreon, become a member. You get early access to all the episodes and they're all ad free. So check out the Patreon, Tinfoil Tales on Patreon. And if you would like to be a guest on Tinfoil Tales, send an email to tinfoiltalespodcast@gmail.com or go to tinfoiltales.com, go to the contact section. I don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight. It is late. I'm super exhausted. So we're going to wrap this one up. So I'm sorry for anyone that listened that didn't want to listen to this because this is not what you're expecting. This is not my normal show. This is just a Foiled Friday episode. But if you hung out long enough to listen to this, I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that listens to Tinfoil Tales. Make sure to share it around. Please help me by leaving a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to Tinfoil Tales at. Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Just know I appreciate you guys. And don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Question everything. Don't trust your government because the government hates you.